which brings back memories for me, as this is the area I grew up in. I often drove past this hall many times, wondering what goes on in there, and I discovered a little bit tonight that Toastmasters meetings happens to be one of those things. And when I came in, the Toastmasters meeting was clearly signposted. This is something that can all too easily be overlooked when people run groups. So guests are often left wondering, where is it? That was avoided by the efficient and simple use of the sign. When I came in, there was a wonderful welcome. It wasn't just the Sergeant at Arms who welcomed me. There was 3 or 4 people ready there to shake my hand and introduce themselves. So immediately I came in feeling very welcome. Talking of the Sergeant at Arms, Peter, friendly, enthusiastic, helpful, but Peter is no ordinary Sergeant at Arms. He is an all-action troubleshooter as well. So his role extends beyond merely welcoming guests to finding sticky tape for the word of the day, and helping out with missing pens, and even having gentle reminders for the various functionaries if there's anything they may have omitted. As for our Toastmaster, Robert, he held the centre of the stage at all times, and at the beginning, which I felt was useful, particularly for guests, he set out the structure for the meeting so that anyone coming for the first time would know what to expect, and this was clearly set out. And there was a very nice use of a vivid image for the necessity for a round of the applause, which I liked. And the only one possible recommendation is something we have at our club that the Toastmaster does, where there is a theme to link the various functionaries and speech makers. They will be asked a question by email prior to the meeting. For instance, if you were on a desert island, name 3 things that you would bring. So just to give some transition between functioning. So that's an option to consider going forward. We use it. You may want to try it. President Tony, again, commanded the centre of the stage. Organised, I felt a sense that the meeting was well organised, and this is a group that takes the running of these meetings seriously. And despite the transport problems we had this evening, it was a good meeting, even though there were 1 or 2 hiccups and people that didn't arrive. But that was handled smoothly, and to be honest, I don't think I noticed, or I guess would have noticed this too much. Timekeeper Nitesh, who came up and provided a very clear explanation of the timekeeper role, and emphasised the importance of timekeeping, because timekeeping is not only important in Toastmasters, it's also important in our careers and the way we conduct our lives. So I like the way you explained that role. One couple of slight recommendations I would make. Possibly next time, the speech about the importance of timekeeping, maybe omit the lectern, omit the cards, and just have a go at delivering it without aids, just as a sort of next thing to try. And also, in terms of voice projection, throw it out to the back of the room, and that way it carries better. But when you spoke, He spoke clearly and at a good pace, and overall I was very happy with how this timekeeper role was executed. Table topics master, Jayshree, I really enjoyed this. At the beginning, you gave a clear explanation of the purpose of table topics, and also provided a smooth transition between the speakers. One slight recommendation I would make is that you don't need to ask the question twice. So when you say, do you shave or wax? Call out the person's name and just let them get on with it. You don't need to do any more work than is absolutely necessary. But I would like to commend you on your excellent choice of topics, which provided some challenge for the speakers. What with that wax and shaving one, I wouldn't have fancied that. And also the offside rule. Two people had a go at this evening, and I wasn't left any of the wiser. But having said that, I'm not going to try and explain it either. Our first evaluator, Tony, performed this role. Again, I like the way you took the centre of the stage, let her out of the way, and you also provided a good recommendation to the speaker in relation to the use of the stage. I felt this was really spotted something, very useful feedback. We're often told, oh yeah, move around the stage. But I like the suggestion that yes, use the stage, but for some purpose, so that it should be linked to particular stages and parts of the speech. One slight recommendation, although there are different schools of thought on this, is to give an evaluation without being hard. Although some people say you need it because it's a bit more detailed in a speech, but maybe give that a try. Again, very impressed with clear voice projection. If anyone was at the back, they would have heard clearly what you were saying. And I feel that for those new to Toastmasters and public speaking, one general omission is voice projection. Don't be afraid to put it out there. If you are at different sort of levels, better to be too loud than it is to be too quiet. Evaluator 2, Adego. As I understand it, you came in at short notice. So we have to give you some credit for that. There were no objectives, but maybe that's related to the short notice. I would also say voice projection and raising the voice would be something to work on. But in terms of accommodation, there was a clear, articulate expression and a very good pace to the evaluation that was made. And also, clear recommendations and commendations were provided to the speaker. Evaluator 3, Peter. We had a good explanation of the difficulties with giving an ad-lib speech. And you held the centre of the stage, spoke clearly, and your voice carried across the room. Also, the commendation was very apt. It identified the main points of the speech, the difficulty that people have with responding to people who have severe health problems, and also identifying how the speech maker was able to take something from this traumatic experience in terms of some strength having come from it. Table topics evaluator, Himmel. Again, thrown in at short notice, but I was very impressed with the way you took the centre of the stage, back straight, clear, confident expression. A young man with a great speaking future ahead of him, I feel. And generally, in terms of commendations and recommendations, you did manage to give both, which is a difficulty. You have a short period of time to give some sort of hard-hitting, fast advice to a number of speakers. There wasn't a recommendation for Adego, but you managed to give recommendations to the other speakers, which was good. There was a slight issue about not quite filling out the time, but that comes with practice. I've just seen the red, so but we're at a good pace because we're on to the final functionary. Mike, grammarian. You wouldn't think he stepped in at short notice. Immediately, word of the day up on the wall. Very emphasising the importance of avoiding fillers. Clear, well enunciated voice projected across the room. I agree, we need to lose very, we use it too much. A wonderful explanation of the correct object pronoun to use in accusative verbs. As an English teacher, I was very impressed with that. And I must admit, this is the first time I've ever seen a grammarian analyse the rhythm of a speech and identify the use of iambic pentameter and repeat it to the audience. So that was a textbook example of a grammarian. So that's the end of my general evaluation. Thank you very much for having me. Thank you very much for a wonderful meeting. And hopefully we'll see one of you guys along at Bloomsbury Speakers sometime.